One greetings from the high 10. It's Everyday Shenanigans. Yes, I'm back. Live number 3. This will be a very short live. I want you all to please go over to my shorts. I uploaded a small clip, just a very small short pertaining to Quentin Simon. And it is a picture that Miss Jennifer Coffindaffer, retired FBI agent, posted to her Twitter page. And it reads from October 19th. I imagine #Quentin Simon in a place like this, his heart warm, finally knowing peace, comfort, and love where his spirit now dwells. I agree. It's a beautiful picture, purplish pink in color. I uploaded that picture because it was very fitting due to the fact of where the child was discarded. So please go over to my short to see that quick upload. I want to thank Miss Coffindaffer. I want to thank you for your Twitter posts because you're the reason I am back on live tonight. Because it is true, many people don't get the justice they deserve when they go missing and when they are found deceased, murdered. And I want to dedicate this live to a African-American boy child who was found dead in a washing machine in Texas. And I found this story off of ex-FBI agents Jennifer Coffindaffer's Twitter account. I want to thank you, ma'am, because I'm going to talk about him. And if his parents are watching, I want you to know that I do believe there's something possibly suspect in this story. I will let the audience decide for themselves what they think. I will also play audio from different stories pertaining to children being put in washing machines deliberately, children possibly crawling in a washing machine by accident. You're entitled to your opinion. I'm going to now read you the story, and then I'll play audio pertaining to Troy Khoeler. This is by The Independent. Thank you, Ms. Coffindaffer. Adoptive father of 7-year-old boy found dead in washing machine says door to home was unlocked. Well, let's hear what he has to say. Please be very mindful of the information. Decide if this person is telling the truth about what happened to Troy. Know that he was a foster child adopted allegedly by this man and his wife. Thank you for joining me. This is Everyday Shenanigans.
Khoeler. These photos shared earlier by Precinct 4. Harris County Sheriff's Office is now investigating. They say the boy's parents first reported Troy missing just after 4 this morning when they couldn't find him. Precinct 4 initially responded, searched the neighborhood when nothing turned up. That's when they searched the home and found his body inside a top-loading washing machine. How he ended up there and how he died are all questions investigators say they won't be able to answer until the medical examiner performs an autopsy.
Whether he was killed by the washing machine or killed and placed in, we're just so far from that, I can't tell you.
We're just so far from that, I can't tell you. Yeah, well, Queen's going to be on that, so you won't have to worry about being far away, because I will be calling the police station tomorrow to ask why there is no release of an autopsy, and we are now in the month of November. Very strange. Let's read the following information. The foster father of a 7-year-old boy found dead in the family's washing machine last week has said he came home to find their house unlocked just before the body was discovered. And know that this is an article from a few months ago. This is not recent, just back in the summer. Jermaine Thomas, who reported his adopted son, Troy Khoeler, missing in the small hours on Thursday morning, told local news reporters that the door to the house was unlocked when he returned there just before midnight on Wednesday evening. Police in Spring, Texas said they received the missing person's call around 5:20 a.m. and found Troy's body inside the top-loading washing machine at the family's rented home around 6 a.m. County Sheriff spent all day questioning Mr. Thomas and the boy's foster mother before releasing both without any charges on Thursday evening. It's just that I came home. I was fixing to walk in the door like right now. I don't have my keys, but I put my key in the door and then the door opened, Mr. Thomas told KHOU 11. Anything else after that? I don't know. Asked if the door was unlocked already when he found it, Mr. Thomas added, yeah, but I don't know. Troy's foster mother declined to speak to reporters. Police had announced no charges or arrests as of Friday morning and were still investigating the cause of Troy's death. We don't know what happened, but we intend to find out, Lieutenant Robert Michu said. Whether he was killed by the washing machine or killed and placed in it, we're just so far from that. I can't comment. He confirmed that Troy was fully clothed when they found him, but did not give details, including if there was water inside the machine or if the lid was shut. Why is that? Interesting. The boy's father was at home at the time. His mother returned from a night shift at a hospital and was still in uniform when police arrived. The Texas Department of Family and Protective Services, known as CPS, told KHOU 11, CPS does have history with the family. It declined to give any further details. The Independent is the source. So, what happened to Troy? Living in his house as an adoptive child from foster care, allegedly. Only child living in the house. See, Daddy, let Queen talk to you for just a second. Where you messed up? It's the fact that you came home allegedly before 12. And the mother met up with the police, allegedly coming from work. So that means Troy was left alone. So who picked him up from school? I'll wait. This is the very reason why I tell people to always listen to the information. Before you assume anything, jump the gun. Always listen to the information. If we are to believe the information you gave authorities, how does a child get home from school if indeed he was enrolled in school? So let me ask that question. Was he enrolled in school? Number one. Is he homeschooled? Number two. What time do you go to work, sir? What time does your wife go to work? So what I think is interesting is that you said you were looking for your wife. Well, if your wife was coming home and she had on her scrubs, outfit, whatever, then that means you knew where she was allegedly. If she works a third shift, double shift, wouldn't you know this? We're going to play your commentary and let the viewing audience decide if somebody is not telling the truth. And know that whatever they saw in the house is what led law enforcement to search the house to later find the child inside of the washing machine. They won't reveal what was found. They won't reveal if the lid was up or down. They won't reveal if there was water in the machine. But it is a top loader, which is an older type of washing machine. So what you have to ask yourself, would he have crawled in? Was he the type of child to play games and crawl inside of washing machines? Had he been in a washing machine playing before? Why is there no autopsy and it's now November? Did these people deliberately hurt the child and put him in a washing machine? Or use the washing machine as a way to hurt him, drown the baby, abuse the baby, as not to show they manually hurt the baby? Always listen to the information. The fact that DHS has been in your household before leads one to say, why? You've had the child since 2019. Why would DHS have involvement with you? Is this because of other foster care children or this child in particular? Thank you for joining me. This is Everyday Shenanigans. Very interesting. Well, let's hear what Daddy has to say. Thank you, Miss Jennifer Coffindaffer. Please follow her on Twitter, retired FBI agent. I believe she has spoken on commentary before. We're also going to play information from News Nation pertaining to missing people. I think there's a little poll going around for you to put in your little data to see if you would be the type of person that people would search for if indeed you went missing. So we'll ask the viewing audience, are you somebody that people would go look for if you stop answering your phone, showed up to work, stop answering your door? Are you that person that people would be invested in to search? I will put that poll up on my community board, and I would love to see the results of that. Thank you so very much for joining me. Very interesting. I find it very interesting. No autopsy. Why? Why is that? Just 1 second, you guys. Very interesting. No autopsy. I'm sure they'll have a nice excuse. But I know nothing can change until you say something. And I'm sure this Coffindaffer has alerted some of you YouTubers. Since you love to be on the ground, no one was outside of this house, the Khoeler's house, to ask what happened to baby Troy, 7 years old. Nobody cared about this little black boy to say, hey, what happened? Where's the autopsy? Well, we're going to make sure that he gets justice, because I do believe there is something amiss with this said storyline of a child being in a washing machine. And know that it's a top loader, not the ones that you open and pull out, but the older type of washing machines where the clothes sit at the bottom of the washing machine. Okay. I brought you several different stories to my community page pertaining to children and washing machines. Please check out the content, because you will be surprised how many people have put children in washing machines. I have one 10 years ago, man stuffs baby in spinning washer. You actually get to see him on camera in a laundromat putting a baby into the washing machine. And then the news finds the mother to ask her about the situation. And she goes on to tell you she left her child with a friend, and then her friend was with her at the washing house and put the child in the washing machine. How amusing. Yes. This is what we do for fun when we're adults. We put other people's children in washing machines, and then we jump up and down in front of the camera screaming because the washing machine door won't open. Wow, wow, wow. Then I have another story about a mother who put her autistic child in the washing machine 2 years ago. And then I have another story, what parents need to know about washing machine dangers. Inside Edition 4 years ago. Please check out my community board. Let's hear from the father, and then we're going to go on back. Adoptive father of 7-year-old who died inside washing machine speaks out. This is uploaded 3 months ago. Tell me what you think. Oh, yes, this is America. This is America.
Reported him missing yesterday morning. Rochelle Turner live with what the boy's adoptive father told us late last night when he arrived home. Rochelle.
Good morning. Jermaine Thomas spoke briefly with us after he was questioned by authorities and dropped off at this home behind me by a Precinct 4 deputy constable. Now, he told us when he got to the home around midnight on Wednesday, the door was already unlocked. This is Troy Khoeler's adoptive dad, Jermaine Thomas. He says he came home after work yesterday around midnight looking for his wife, and the door was already unlocked.
Just like I'm finna walk in the door right now. I don't have my keys, but I put my key in the door and then the door open. But anything else after that, I don't know.
Jermaine says Troy wasn't in the house, and around 5:30 that morning, the 7-year-old was reported missing. Deputies searched the neighborhood before they made the horrific discovery.
At that point, they found a deceased 7-year-old child in the washing machine, in the garage.
Troy's mom and dad were questioned by authorities. No charges have been filed, but how did Troy end up in the washing machine? His condition and cause of death remain under investigation.
Just don't know how it happened.
The Department of Family and Protective Services confirmed the couple adopted Troy in 2019. He also attended Jenkins Elementary School, and Spring ISD says his death represents a great loss for our district, and we are providing ongoing counseling and grief services for students and staff members impacted by this tragedy. And so many questions surrounding this investigation. Today, we're hoping to learn a little bit more about what happened to little Troy. As soon as we find out more information, we'll be sure to let you know. Reporting live from...
Let's go back, because I want you to listen very carefully at the father tell you what happened. Listen to the words that he speaks. Go to my community page to watch the body language, the facial expressions of the father, and decide if he is telling the truth about the child missing and later found in the washing machine. Thank you for joining me. Let's go back a little bit.
On Wednesday, the door was already unlocked. This is Troy Khoeler's adoptive dad, Jermaine Thomas. He says he came home after work yesterday around midnight looking for his wife, and the door was already unlocked.
Just like I'm finna walk in the door right now. I don't have my keys, but I put my key in the door and then the door open. But anything else after that, I don't know.
Jermaine says Troy wasn't in the house, and around 5:30 that morning, the 7-year-old was reported missing. Deputies searched the neighborhood before they made the horrific discovery.
At that point, they found a deceased 7-year-old child in the washing machine in the garage.
Troy's mom and dad were questioned by authorities. No charges have been filed, but how did Troy end up in the washing machine? His condition and cause of death remain under investigation.
Sir, why would you be looking for your wife if she indeed had to go to work? Or was she at work? Because somebody left them alone. You came home a little bit before 12 means you, A, had a job. B, you came home looking for her, him. But later in that morning, hours later, she's meeting up with the police coming in. So that means somebody left Troy, 7 years old, alone. So even if indeed it was not homicide, you're still neglectful of a child, because that means he was left alone without a sitter or a parent. And now we have to ask you, have you been leaving the boy child alone at the house to work your jobs? Did you enroll the child in school? Did he attend school that day? What time did you start work, sir? Because one would have to believe you had to start work probably about 3-something o'clock in the afternoon in order to get off before 12, if indeed you worked a 7-hour, 8-hour shift. Mother, when did you go into work? Because I got a feeling you work kind of like, get off about 7. I don't know, that's just a hunch I got. And that means you were at the house with the baby. And possibly, Daddy, you were there too. Ting. One of you were there. And one of you got mad possibly at that baby. And said, put him in a washing machine. Because they'll never know how he died. They'll just think he crawled in there. And the machine beat him up. So now we got to wait on an autopsy that I find very strange has not been rendered. Thank you, Miss Coffindaffer, for posting this to Twitter, because it is peculiar. All these months later, you all don't have a manner of death. Let me guess, you have so many murders to send bodies to the examining table. You can't keep up. Don't have enough medical examiners, perhaps. I don't know. Well, we're curious out here in East Tennessee to what happened to this 7-year-old child. We're also curious to why DHS has been to this home and why is the child still there or was there. Bingo court. Yes. This is why I tell you not to judge every case the same when you say DHS takes babies, steals babies. Obviously not. Because if they've been to this house before, why did these people still have him in their custody? And that's for you people that love to judge DHS and say, they don't like to keep families together. Well, they gave these people a chance. And now you have to ask yourselves, why were they at their house? Why were they in their business? Did these people abuse other foster care children and they still let them take on children? Or did somebody call when they got custody of this child and somebody turned a blind eye? Thank you for joining me. If you'd like to donate to this great network, $Beganji 129 Cash App. Let's hear what the officials have to say pertaining to this child. What they think happened. You're not about to get anything out of this interview. I want to go ahead and let you know. No questions could be answered. And here we are now in November, still nothing. But that's how it is. KPRC 2 click to Houston is the source. Thank you for joining me.
Rosegate in the Burnhamwood subdivision in Spring. This morning, constables at approximately 5:20 responded to a missing person call at that address. The homeowners advised their 7-year-old son was missing. Further investigation revealed the child had possibly been missing since 4 a.m. They called in at about 5:20 for police after they couldn't find him. Constables got here, did a brief interview for the missing person report, and things that they observed are cause that led them to search the house thoroughly. At that point, they found a deceased 7-year-old child in the washing machine in the garage. At that point, the house was secured and the sheriff's office homicide unit was called, and that's when we responded. The parents have been separated and detained, which is standard procedure, and they'll be taken down to our office downtown for a further interview. What little information we have is the child was a foster child initially and was possibly adopted in 2019. We haven't officially confirmed that, but that's what we're told. Not a lot of history at the house or anything like that we can find. It's a very open and active investigation. We don't know what happened, but we intend to find out. And any questions?
You said that there were signs that led y'all to search the house. What was that?
That wasn't us. That was the constables. Our investigators are talking with the deputies now, just to see. I think it may have just been part of standard police procedure. You know, it was early in the morning. There was no indication that the door had been open or window open. And after searching the neighborhood, they were unable to find the child. So the next logical step, I believe, was just to search the house.
Do they believe that he got in there himself?
We're not at that point yet. We'll definitely have an update for you maybe later today about the details of the case.
Who was it?
Just the mother and father of the child.
Any siblings?
No other siblings that we know of.
Any signs of, was there any signs of foul play?
I can't comment on that at this time.
Was there water in the washing machine?
I can't comment on that at this time.
Anybody?
No.
Can't comment.
No, it's just part of a routine death investigation where we try to get people away from the scene and take them to our office to a better environment. It's obviously a traumatic situation for the family and anybody involved.
Really?
And it's it's just more conducive to get them away from the house.
Do you believe this was an accident or?
I can't comment or give an opinion at this point. It's just too early.
Two questions. So, was there serious trauma on the boy's body that you guys could tell right away something's wrong, or this might be possibly foul play or anything like that?
We're going to have to wait on the medical examiner's office. You know, as part of our procedures and state law, we don't touch or move the bodies. So can't comment on that at this time.
The woman that was seen crying just now, is that the homeowner/mom?
Yes.
Did she just find out what happened?
Right.
Was aware of it?
No, they've been aware for you know, since the body was found at approximately 7:20.
How did they discover him missing and then go and call 911?
Not sure. Either she came home from work or someone in the house woke up. She's wearing a work uniform. We still haven't determined whether she was at home or just got home or was getting ready for work. Just due to the volatility of the situation, we haven't even gotten that far into the interview yet.
You're not even sure how the parents figured out their little boy.
No. No. The constables were here for quite a while, taking the report and getting clothing descriptions and getting ready to start canvassing the neighborhood, driving patrols around the neighborhood. Didn't find anything, and then decided to search the house just in case the kid was in the house.
Was the boy found in the same blue shirt he was reported missing?
Can't comment on that, but he was dressed.
Could the boy have gotten into, I mean, is it easy access from his room?
It's a top-load washing machine. Based on my observations of the scene, he could have, but we just don't know yet.
How long do you think he was inside the washing machine?
We're going to have to wait on the medical examiner to try to get a rough time of death on that. We just don't know right now. We try to tread lightly inside so crime scene can do their job, and there's very little transfer of evidence or removal of evidence from the scene.
How did your child die in a washing machine? Was it from suffocation?
It's just too early to tell. The autopsy will tell that, whether he was killed by the washing machine or killed and placed in. We're just so far from that, I can't comment.
Would there be any notification to the biological parents?
No what?
Any notification to the biological parents?
Not at this time. No, he was, like I said, he was possibly adopted in 2019. We don't even know if we'll have access to those records, depending on the disclosure agreements they had during the adoption.
There's no evidence around to say that the boy was hurt.
I can't comment on that at this time.
So you said it's a top lid washing machine. I'm assuming the lid was closed.
I can't comment on that. I'm sorry.
All right. Pick it up. Okay. That's all we got for now. Anything we'll update. So thank you again.
All right. We need verification. You want to go over it again in your head. KPRC2 source. Click Houston. Click to Houston. Woo! Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Let's talk about washing machines and children crawling in them, the dangers. 4 years ago, Inside Edition, it's done commentary. Let's chop that up for just a second. Well, can't get it together.
Deadly. We're talking about children getting trapped inside washers. Front-end load machines can be enticing for little kids. And as Stephen Fabian reports, one family nearly lost their child who crawled inside.
It's a hidden danger many parents don't think about. Kids climbing into the washing machine.
The front-loading washers are particularly attractive to kids. The doors open wide, the drums are big inside. They look like great places to hide and have fun.
Look at this video a mom posted on YouTube. Her baby playing inside a washing machine. But once that door closes, there can be tragic consequences.
Yes,
Alan
Kenny.
and Lindsay MacGyver of Denver, Colorado are now issuing an urgent warning to parents about the dangers after their toddler nearly lost her life inside this washer. By the time we reached the laundry room in the basement, my 3-year-old daughter Chloe was locked inside the airtight washing machine. It was tumbling and filling with water. She was screaming, but you couldn't hear her, they wrote on Facebook. Thankfully, they were able to power down the machine. Chloe got out with a few scrapes and bruises.
The doors lock once the machine starts, and that's what they're designed to do.
Okay.
But once a child gets trapped inside, then it becomes a really dangerous situation.
Home Appliances Lab Director Carolyn Forte of the Good Housekeeping Institute showed Inside Edition what you can do to keep your child safe.
The best thing you can do is engage the child lock, and every machine we've seen always has them.
On this front end loader, the controls are disabled once you press the child lock. Other machines have different child lock features that keep the door shut.
A child can pull all they want. The child lock is on, this door's not going to open. They won't be able to play inside.
To a very
But
low
should the
one.
unthinkable happen, this is what you have to do.
If a child is stuck inside, just push the pause button, turn the machine off, and the door will automatically open.
Though most newer models do have child locks, if you've got older front end model, there are child locks you can purchase to make sure youngsters can't get in.
All right, that was 4 years ago. But they showed a washing machine that was very low to the ground. That's the only one I could see a small toddler crawling in. The ones that set up a little higher, you got to remember, this is from 4 years ago, so the machines are all going to vary, I'm assuming, in height. If it's sitting up a little taller, the machine, I can't see a small toddler 2 feet being able to push up their body inside. Because then once they crawl inside, how's the door going to close? Gravity's just going to close it automatically? I don't know. Just saying. We'll bring you some more commentary pertaining to washing machines and children. This is in Orlando 3 years ago, bringing you different scenarios of children in washing machines. Thank you for joining me. That's what he was found in, sweetheart, an older washing machine, the one that flips up, top loader, where you have to put the clothes down in the machine. He wasn't found in one of the newer machines.
Details now about the tragic death of a 3-year-old boy. Orlando police now say the child got stuck in a front-loading washing machine and drowned. It happened at a home on Lake Como Circle Sunday. Police say the family's 2 children were playing in the laundry room when the little boy became trapped. Paramedics performed CPR and took him to the hospital, but it was too late. Police are calling it a tragic accident, but their investigation is still ongoing. They are now asking parents to talk to their kids about the dangers of washing machines so something like this does not happen again.
Okay. A lot of interesting information. So she's basically saying, the lady in the Inside Edition commentary, that as soon as you shut the door, it will automatically start. I don't know. I have to, I'm thinking, I don't know. Wouldn't you have to press a button though? Because think about it, doors stay closed on a washing machine, whether it is a top loader or a front loader. The only way a machine will start, I would assume, is if I've already pressed the button to start the wash. And then let's say I paused it, walked off, then the child comes in behind me, opens the door, climbs in. Then would the wash resume? Right, if I started. So maybe, I don't know. I guess it depends on the washing machine you have. Because I just thought if you pause the machine, any type of machine, it stays on pause. Because naturally, if I press it to start, it's already filling up with water. It's going to continue to wash unless I or somebody touches it to stop it, pause it. My top load must close lid to lock the push knob to start cycle. What'd you say? Unplug the power cord and then it could be shut off. Well, we're going to bring you that commentary next about pulling the cord. Some lady was stupid enough to let her ignorant friend keep her kid, and this black female decides to go to the laundromat with her goofy male friend, and he decides to put the baby in the washing machine. Front loader at the washing machine house. Woo! Ghetto ratchet. CNN is the source. This was 10 years ago. Lord have mercy. And even then, when I look at this from the aerial view, I can't see somebody 2 feet just jumping in there. I can't. Because this is at the laundromat. And I can't see somebody that sits up under the door could push themselves up in there. I think they need a little help. Kind of like the help this black guy did when he threw the damn baby in. Okay, let's roll with it.
With a 1-year-old by putting him in a washer, and then the door automatically locks and the washer turns on. The man and the woman babysitting the child panic. But imagine you're the mother.
Hi.
Are you the mom?
Yes.
Hi, Mom.
Is this the baby? Yes.
He's adorable. Zakia David is the 22-year-old mother who watched the video for the first time on the news.
I said, Dad, you can't tell me that ain't my. I said, that's my baby and that's her.
Her being the child's babysitter who never told the mother what happened almost 2 weeks ago at this Camden, New Jersey laundromat. The babysitter and an unidentified friend brought 1-year-old Samir Bush along to do the laundry while his mom was at work. After he got stuck in the machine, the pair frantically ran for help. A laundromat employee came to the rescue, heaving aside tables and turning off power to the machine. The other guy was jumping out of his skin. The babysitter was banging the table.
Now pull the baby out. I'm feel good because I saw the baby has still alive.
Still alive and basically unharmed, the pair took the boy to the hospital, then returned him to Mom, who noticed nothing amiss. After the video went viral, police got in touch with the mother. The Camden County Prosecutor's Office says this was not an intelligent choice to put the baby in the washing machine, but it was not a crime. How's the mother feel?
I'm pissed. I was mad because you shouldn't put a kid in a washer, but at the same time, he was just playing around.
As for the babysitter, Mom says she won't be babysitting anymore. Meanwhile, back at washing machine number 15, the owner of the laundromat says she knows it's ridiculous, but she's actually thinking of putting up signs to protect herself from liability. Do not put kids in washers. This is one story you can't spin as anything but dumb. Jeannie Mo, CNN.
Do you feel like a hero?
Sorry.
Still alive and
Hold
basically unharmed.
Listen at the
Pair
mother.
took the boy to the hospital, then returned him to Mom, who noticed nothing amiss. After the video went viral, police got in touch with the mother. Boy to the hospital.
I saw the baby has still alive.
Still alive and basically unharmed, the pair took the boy to the hospital, then returned him to Mom, who noticed nothing amiss. After the video went viral, police got in touch with the mother. The Camden County Prosecutor's Office says this was not an intelligent choice to put the baby in the washing machine, but it was not a crime. How's the mother feel?
I'm pissed. I was mad because you shouldn't put a kid in a washer, but at the same time, he was just playing around.
As for the babysitter, Mom says she won't.
You shouldn't put a baby in a washer. He was just playing around. Woo! You heard it here, folks. What type of response is that? You shouldn't put a baby in a washer. He was just playing around, though. Maybe we should put your big ass in the washer. Excuse my language. You see, when you look at that video at the laundromat, the one where the baby was put in, the 1-year-old, it sat taller than the one next to it. So what I have to imagine, if the child had put their own self in there, I know at one, he wouldn't have been able to do it because he didn't have the height to push his feet up to levitate into the washer. So naturally, this fool, whose child, it's not his child, why did you put that baby in there? How is that funny? Because obviously it was spinning, or you couldn't get the door open, either one. She's washing clothes. How is that funny to put a child in a washing machine, dryer? It's all the same. Make it make sense. Wow. I'm trying to remember when did I play you all the story about the one with the autistic kid? That's even more crazy. 34. Mother arrested after son found inside a washing machine. Court docs say 2 years ago. Fox 59 is the source. Thank you for joining me. This Everyday Shenanigans. Bringing you wicked stories about mothers.
Lining of an otherwise disturbing case.
I have children and grandchildren myself, and it's really hard to imagine something like this can happen.
Heather Oliver now faces charges of neglect of a dependent resulting in bodily injury. Investigators say she placed her 5-year-old son in a running washing machine. Cummings says the incident happened in August at this home in Elwood and started with a text message.
The mother messaged the father of the child. He came home, discovered it, took the child to the hospital himself because he thought it would be quicker than if they called an ambulance.
According to court records, Oliver says the 5-year-old who has autism put himself in the running machine. But investigators say that doesn't add up.
It just doesn't seem to be any other reasonable explanation for this to have occurred. She's at home by herself with this child. Child couldn't have done it to himself.
Cummings says the end result was a child left with multiple bruises and scratches, but is now doing fine. Still, Cummings is left with concern about what could have happened and what has happened in Madison County.
We had 5 children killed in this community last year that were 2 or under, 5 that died. Heroin overdoses, beaten to death. Neglect and those kind of things. So we have some really serious problems historically in this community with young children, and fortunately nothing that serious occurred to this child.
Something he hopes he and other elected officials can help put an end to in the future.
There's far too much of this, to be honest with you.
Nick McGill, Fox 59 News.
The house doesn't look the greatest. Toys outside, swing set. One would have to ask, how many kids did she have? Let's go back to this mother putting this autistic 5-year-old in the washing machine. I do believe there was water in there. Let's just go back a second.
Bodily injury. Investigators say she placed her 5-year-old son in a running washing machine. Cummings says the incident happened in August at this home in Elwood and started with a text message.
The mother messaged the father of the child. He came home, discovered it, took the child to the...
Just imagine had he worked far away, trucker on the road, 20 minutes away, worked in another town. She sends a text message. She didn't have the guts to call and say, hey, I put the baby in the washing machine. What do I do? Lady, why did you even call? I'm curious. I need to get an update because I'd like to see what did the state do with you. God forbid you don't have any more children. Running washing machine. She puts a baby in a running washing machine. And I think we all know that was the lid up or closed? Because every machine works different, I believe. The older ones. Some, I think, run with it up. Some don't. Could be mistaken. Whew. Troy Khoeler, 7 years old, no autopsy. State of Texas, we want to answer. Thank you. Retired FBI agent Jennifer Coffindaffer. Many of you have probably heard of her. I got a notification tonight while I was trying to relax. Naturally, no rest for the weary. She wants to know why there's no autopsy, and I just got curious myself. Why not? It's now November. Baby's been dead for months. Little boy's been dead. And nothing. WGNO, ABC. No, that's not it. I'm sorry. I'm looking at something else. I got so many stories. Oh, excuse me. About to read a Quentin Simon recap. Let's start with this MSN.com. Oh, man. August 3rd is the date of this content. Parents cleared over death of boy whose body was found in washing machine. The father of a 7-year-old boy found dead in his family's washing machine said he came home that night to find the front door of their home was unlocked. Jermaine Thomas told reporters the front door of the house had been unlocked when he came home just a few hours before he reported his adoptive son, Troy Khoeler, missing early Thursday morning. It's just that I came home, I was fixing. Well, my article went off. Sorry about that. Okay, now what is the problem? Let's see, continue in the app. I don't know why it's not. 1 second, you guys. These articles are just, I don't know why it's not uploading. There we go. So, okay. He reported his adopted son, Troy Khoeler, missing early Thursday morning. It's just that I came home. I was fixing to walk in the door, like right now. Because notice when they approached him, he was coming out of a car in the dark. So that's his mode. I was fixing to walk in the door, like right now. I don't have my keys, but I put the key in the door and then the door opened. Anything else after that, I don't know, Thomas told KHOU 11. That just sounds like a person that don't want to tell you the truth, but they know the truth. After that, I don't know. Police in Spring, Texas received the missing persons call around 5:20 a.m. Thursday, and soon after found Troy's body inside a top-loading washing machine inside the family's garage. Both of the parents were questioned for the entire day and released without any charges. His mother declined speaking with reporters. According to authorities, when they arrived at the family's home early that morning, there were signs indicating they should search the house in its entirety for the boy. And as you heard in this audio from the press conference, where a reporter asked, why did you all feel the need to search the house? He said, I wasn't here, but the constable was, and that's usually protocol to go search the house. But mind you, they looked in the neighborhood first, which I thought was strange, because it seems to me it's the AM, still dark at 5. Why not look in the house first, since this is where you're saying the child was? I'm just saying. Okay. Once again, things that they observed led them to search the house thoroughly at that point. They found a deceased 7-year-old child in a washing machine in the garage. Lieutenant Robert Mishu of the Harris County Sheriff's Office said investigators still don't know how the young boy died or ended up in a washing machine and are waiting an autopsy results from the medical's office. Whether he was killed by the washing machine or killed and placed in it, we're just so far from that. I can't comment, Minshew said. Authorities said the boy was adopted in the family in 2019. A spokesperson with the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services said CPS does have history with the family. So when we say history, is that good history or bad? Or should I just assume it's negative? MSN.com. Like I said, the reporter asked, what made you go in the house to look? What things did you see? And he said, well, it could be just they wanted to search the house first. But some of us may look at that as they saw something that wasn't right. We're going to be cynical. We're going to be cynical only because you don't have an autopsy now. And we have this retired FBI agent on Twitter wanting to know, where's the justice for this baby? Where's the hooping and hollering for this baby? Well, Coffindaffer, this YouTuber's hooping and a hollering. But I won't be on the ground doing it. Mr. and Mrs. Khoeler. Hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. What happened to the baby? What happened to that 7-year-old boy? Because what I find interesting, if I took notes properly, sir, you said you got home a little bit before 12 a.m. The mother met the police coming to the house, which was in the wee hours, about 7:20 or somewhere in there. So what I want to know, where were you? Because they didn't confirm that you were either at the house, coming back to the house from a job, or leaving the house going to a job. So which is it, ma'am? Were you at home alone with the child before allegedly the father got there? Or were you coming home from a job when the police showed up? You all would have had to have him at about 4 years of age in foster care. What made you decide to, 1, take in a child, 2, adopt him? How did you treat him? What type of child was he? Was he rambunctious, I'm wondering? Very interesting. 5:20, a report goes in a.m. to the dispatch that a child is missing. No, I get that wrong. You all said around 4 he went missing, and then yes, 5:20 the call goes in. Allegedly, you were looking around the neighborhood. So we're to believe that you walked out your house in the pitch black looking for a baby boy, 7. So who initially made the phone call to 911? Because when we hear the father speak, he says, I came home looking for my wife. I put the key in the door and it was open. So that means you couldn't find her, you couldn't find the kid. That would have been right before 12. You realized the child was missing at 4 a.m. So, Father, I'm going to ask you directly. Was your wife at home? And you're lying. Because you said, I got in the house, the door was already open. I was looking for my wife. So that means the wife was gone, the child was gone. Well, where was the wife? Was she at work? What time does she go to work? Something's off. Reporters asked you, sir, law enforcement, was there water in the machine? You would not answer. Bruising. You would not answer. Lid up or down. You would not answer. Autopsy. That was your answer to everything. Waiting on an autopsy. Waiting on an autopsy. Oh, Lord, I'm waiting on Santa Claus. How about that? I got a funky feeling Santa Claus is going to come back around and we still won't have an autopsy. And they're free like OJ all day. So what are they doing right now? Where are they? Do they have more children? DHS, have you allowed other children to slide in their house? Mother was crying, you said. Guess when she was in the patrol car. Don't you find it interesting he didn't tell us that there was water in the washing machine? That leads me to believe that it was water. I'm going to go out on a limb and say there was water in that damn machine. And that's how we know he didn't crawl in there at 7 years old. Bingo card. Because no child is going to crawl at 7 into no water to play games. I doubt it. And we know that children can be very adventurous, daring. But I don't think he crawled in there because naturally he would have had somebody to dare him to crawl into this machine with or without water. Found the baby at 7:20. So we're talking about 7 hours from the time daddy gets there to the time the child is found. And the interesting part of the story is when you start looking at the timeline, and if you believe what the parents have told you, You're talking about almost a 7.5 hour window or more. The child was in the house the whole time, in the garage, in a stinky washing machine, possibly with the lid closed and water. So I'm going to bet you stuffed him in the washing machine. Come on, Queen, bring it to him. Oh, yes. He didn't crawl in there. He didn't crawl in there. I think he would have had better things to do with himself, possibly being left alone. He would have been possibly eating stuff, food, running around in and out of the door, playing with friends, running in the refrigerator, flipping the remote control. You all see where I'm going. And in this modern day, 7-year-old, nah. The only way he would have been in that wash machine, as I said, if he was playing with other little children and one of them dared him to crawl in there. And trust me, another 7-8-year-old would know how to lift the lid to get him out. Or they would call for help, go run next door. I didn't notice the cops coming out from the neighbor's house. Wonder what they had to say about you all as neighbors. I did hear them interview one older black man, and he was just puzzled as all get out. I don't know how he got in there. Oh, I bet Queen knows how he got in there. Somebody put him in there. And the fact there's no autopsy. Stay woke. The fact the state's been at your house, because I assume when they say they have history, that means negatively. Because they would have said there has been no negative history with this family, DHS. Well, usually when it doesn't make sense hanging, it's because there's foul play. Hanky-panky. And Daddy, I was looking at you talk to the news, and I knew that you were lying because Queen has been around some prolific liars. And the reason why I know you were lying is because you did something that most people do when they lie, such as the case with Quentin, such as the case with Cal City, such as the case with Summer Wells. Come on, bring it to him, Queen. Such as the case with Megan Boswell. You overspin the story with words. This is what you said to the reporter. I was getting out, trying to put my key in the door like what I'm doing right now, but I ain't got my keys. And I put the key in the door, but the door wasn't open. Why do you have to infer that like right now? Like right now. Basically, you're telling them, you all are bothering me. I'm trying to get in this house and you're bombarding me getting out of this car. Yes, sensationalism. Wonderful word. Overly dramatic. I'm putting the key in the door, but I ain't got the key right now, but you get where I'm going. No, I don't know. Why couldn't you just say, hi, how are you? Yes, I came home, put the key in the door, and the door was already open in a conversation. That's how you tell the story. You don't have to tell us what color shoes you had on, that you had a scratch or an itch. Just say, I went up to the door, put the key in, and realized the door was already unlocked. And then it's the way you said it. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, I believe you do know. Because you wanted to make sure she understood that right now you don't have no keys in your hand, but let me demonstrate what I did with the key. Well, she's not a fourth grader. She had to have an education to get that job as a reporter, or he or she. I think they know what a key means in the keyhole, and oops, the door's already open. And they also mentioned in this commentary that no windows were ajar, nor were any doors. So that leads us to believe no one broke into your house. So now let's ask the ultimate question. Do you have security on your house? Security cameras, ADT, some type of service? Yes, overcompensating equals guilt, guilty knowledge. Amen. Thank you. Because there was no need for all that extra. Well, I ain't got the key in my hand, but when I put the key in the door, it was open. Okay. And then it's the way you cut your eye. Like Was that good enough? Sir, you know what happened to that baby. I got a feeling you or your wife did something to him and you put him in a machine to be rid of him. But you knew you was going to have to come up with some type of excuse. Say he was missing, blah, blah, blah. And really putting someone in a washing machine is a clever way of letting the child be murdered by device. Stay woke with me. I'll let the washing machine kill him. That way I won't be charged for having hit, beat the kid, strangled the kid. I'll let the washing machine do it. Because he'll go round and round and round. He's already going to be smushed up in there with water as well. He'll suffocate and get battered and bruised, drowned all at the same time. That would be a clever way to kill a child. Put the child in, close the lid, press the start button. Interesting. So now we have to ask this question. Was he alive or deceased? If indeed you put him in a machine. So did you put him in alive? Because I would have to ask myself, wouldn't a child be fighting 7 years old? What are you doing, Mommy? No, Daddy, what are you doing? No, I don't want to go in here. No, shut up, get in. Stuff him down in there. Now imagine this. Imagine he's alive being put in there fighting one of these heathens because the mother was a very heavy set black female, the father a thinner build. Nonetheless, nothing they could do with an adult. So imagine putting a live child inside of a washing machine. And at some point, the child knows this is not a game. And then pushing him down in there like you would stuff clothes down in a washing machine. Shut the lid. He would be beating the top of that washing machine. Let me out, let me out. I'll behave, I'm sorry, please let me out. Can you imagine a baby begging, trying to get out of a washing machine if indeed he is alive when he went in? Bet you can. See, there are some horrible ways to leave here by the hands of another human being. But then they're not human, are they? Monster comes to mind. See, that's the thing about life. You don't know how you're going to leave here. If you're going to leave here by natural causes, you're going to leave here by an accident, or you're going to leave here by the hands of another monster. Whether they put him in there knocked out, already deceased, still cruel. But I've heard most stories of children being put in washing machines and dryers. They were fully alive. He also had his clothes on when immersed in the washing machine. And I do believe there was water in there. That's why this detective chief or whoever he was, he could not answer. Or let's say he chose not to answer because he knew it was water in there. And I tried to see if water was running out of the machine when they were loading it up in the evidence truck. I didn't see any water running out naturally. It would have already been done its job by the time they found the baby. Imagine that. Woo! Water inside, child drowns, stuffed in there, or she turned it on and let him wash like clothes. Lord have mercy. And yet it is November. and we still don't have an autopsy. So I'm going to call these people and ask why there is no autopsy. Some of us are curious. What's the holdup? And that's the sad part, that all this talking about Summer Wells and all these other cases this year, other true crime stories I bring to you, breaking news, I had not heard of this child being put in the washing machine. And I guess that is why Miss Coffindaffer put this on her Twitter. What about this baby? That's right. Like she said, where is the hollering for this baby? Nobody's crying about him, hollering about him. Where is his autopsy? Nobody's on the ground with signs for Troy. No GoFundMe's for Troy. No nothing. Are you important enough that people would call in if you went missing? Just curious. Somebody says earlier articles mentioned the mother came home from work in the early morning hours to find the child missing. So this talks about father coming home at 11 p.m. to find the child missing. So that means this child was left home alone. Yes, as the Queen said. Sorry, I'm not buying it. I can 100% guarantee the child did not climb into the top loading machine, turn the water on, and sit there while the machine agitated, went through a wash cycle. I do not think a stranger entered the house, stuffed the child into the washing machine, and then left. Linda Bass, August the 3rd. Vicky Fry says they did it. Who else would do this? Can't hide. I've seen older kids, teens, do senseless acts like this and laugh about it, like throwing a 3-year-old into a pond until he drowned, pretext, teaching him to swim, hanging a kid and passing it off as accidental, wondering if the kid had friends in while his parents were out. First choice, parents with an adopted kid they no longer wanted. Did they have insurance on the kid? Interesting. You're right. I mentioned that. Children horseplay. But I do believe some kids would have gotten scared to go call somebody to say, hey, we can't get the lid open. Please come help us. Or would these children leave them in the washing machine? Just wondering. Then Giant Schnauzer said, and CPS does have history with the family. Yeah. I'm in Houston. I thought at first it was an unfortunate accident. You hear about kids crawling into washers, dryers, and suffocating. Then I found out that CPS has a record with this family. So no, I think something stinks. Paul Marino says these parents have guilty and lies written all over their statements. Sherry Larson says another innocent child failed by the system, a system government run, no less. What did the replies have to say? What's worse, when religious idiots ran these systems. Oh, mercy, stop this. Ellen Nolan said failed by his parents. Now somebody want to start spinning their story. I'm not going to read that. It's too bizarre. Both parents need jail. Deborah Matlack said, methinks something stinks. Yeah. Something stinks a lot. Cute little boy. No charges or arrests made in their investigation to the death of young Troy Khoeler. Harris County boy found dead in a washing machine after being reported missing. All those hours missing. And they're looking around in the neighborhood. Stay woke. Sorry about that. No way I believe they were looking around the neighborhood in the dark. It's too dark to be looking for him. Can't see anything. 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. You didn't think to look in your house, under the bed, in the garage, under the cars, wherever. Hiding places. Fingerprints. What fingerprints were on the washing machine? Naturally, theirs is going to be on there because they live there. It wouldn't even matter, would it? The mother has to wash the clothes. Father has to wash the clothes. Please give us an autopsy, Harris County. Manner of death. Any type of bruises on the child, old bruises, wounds that have healed up. Let's say they did this. Why? Why would you kill that kid? Tired of him? Too rambunctious? Too busy? Couldn't keep up with them? Too talkative? Not talking enough? What? Wouldn't mind? What? Did he have a bad mouth? Talk back? What happened? Because I think that daddy knows something. Because there's something about you when you spoke. This rubbed me the wrong way. I believe you know exactly what happened. Because we got to now prove if mother went to work or not. Because they couldn't confirm it at the time of this press conference. We don't know if she was going or coming. We don't know if she was already at home. And the fact that he said, I came in looking for her. But the door was unlocked. Well, why would she have the door unlocked? So where was she? Let's say he's telling the truth. Where was the wife? Where was the baby? Oh, the baby's in the washing machine. Excuse me. So she don't come what? Waltzing in till daylight? Your wife? Now imagine that. She didn't even have a job or went to a job. Because like he said, you know, having on scrubs or uniform don't mean you were actually coming in for work or going to work. So what is the truth? I want to play you one last commentary and then I'm out of here. Are you all important enough to where if you were to go missing right now that somebody would come look for you, search for you, call 911?
Bluetooth connected.
We're going to see. New calculator tackles inequality in missing person stories. This is by News Nation. Thank you for joining me.
Would the country hear about it? There is a new tool this week out from the Columbia Journalism Review asking a few simple questions. Fill out your age, ethnicity, or broad location. It instantly calculates the number of media stories you're likely to get if you went missing. Take a look at some of the numbers. According to the calculator, if a 22-year-old white woman in New York went missing, it would generate 67 stories. If she was just 3 years old or 25, that number goes down to 19. A 25-year-old black woman from New York, just 8 stories. A 50-year-old black man in New York, just 6. What state you're in also matters. For example, if a 22-year-old white woman went missing from Nevada, the new tool estimates more than 92% of Americans would have heard about her story. It's meant to put data behind a topic that has recently come to the forefront, so-called missing white woman syndrome. The idea that the public and media often overlooks missing people of color or people who don't fit into a very specific category. Even Gabby Petito's parents thanking the media and social media for the spotlight they shone on their daughter, but also said they want the same resources to be available to everyone.
I want to ask everyone to help all of the people that are missing and need help. And like I said before, it's on all of you, everyone that's in this room, to do that. And if you don't do that for other people that are missing, that's a shame. Because it's not just Gabby that deserves that.
All right, so joining us now for reaction to this new tool, former FBI agent Jennifer Coffindaffer. Jennifer, great to see you. Thanks for being here.
Great to see you, Natasha.
So the Columbia Journalism Review says that the tool is based on actual statistics of missing people and the stories that are devoted to them. I put in my info, the stats so depressing. So woman in her 30s of mixed ethnicity in a major city, I would get 8 news stories devoted to me. What does this tell us, Jennifer?
Well, I think it tells us that certainly the focus in mainstream media over the years has been on white women in terms of the demographic and young white women. And by the way, Natasha, I sadly was a 7. So test myself also. I think a lot of it is my age and the fact that I'm ethnic. And it certainly puts us at a lower level for receiving media coverage.
Absolutely. And by the way, I'll put a link to this online tool on my Instagram page. It's a little difficult to find, so people can enter their info and take a look at the stats. So the goal of the exercise to draw attention to so-called missing white woman syndrome. And also, you know, the 2 factors they mentioned as well that can make a difference in coverage. And we can look at Gabby Petito, for example, having a ton of photos, a ton of media available, and also a family spokesperson who is willing to go to bat. What do you make of those 2 factors as well?
Oh, it's incumbent on the family and their loved ones to get these stories out. Social media, I think, is really the main nexus for getting these stories going and alive. And I think it's just imperative that social media combined with mainstream media is necessary to get their stories out there. That's what happened in the Gabby Petito case.
Absolutely. And I mean, to your point, coverage, not just a vanity metric, it actually helps people be found. So what needs to be done in your opinion? And what can families of victims do who feel that they are not getting the coverage they deserve?
Well, I think number one, they need to make posters. They need to get all the information out there, as you said, pictures that make that person come alive so that the media and individuals can fall in love with that individual's face and want to put it out there. Secondarily, they need to get involved in social media forums, such as on Twitter and on Facebook, that you have a huge community of people that want to help other people, that want to advocate, that want to help find the missing. So I think these are the main focuses that families can go to.
Absolutely. And I think, you know, of course, there's the media responsibility as well to fight implicit bias and make sure that these stories get told. For the record, Jennifer, if, knock on wood, anything happens to you, I'm assuming foul play, we're going to wall-to-wall coverage. And News Nation, if anything happens to me, I don't want 9 stories. I want wall-to-wall coverage. I want Chris Cuomo talking about it ad nauseum. Same goes for Gary, our floor director. For the record.
I'm all over it on Twitter.
100%. Jennifer Coffindaffer, appreciate you as always. Thank you for your time.
News Nation. So, would you get news coverage if you went missing? Those of you listening to this commentary, would you be important enough to be made on the news? 20 stories at least. And yes, Gabby Petito got a lot of news coverage, more than the average person. But they're saying a 20-plus white female would get more than a 3-year-old. How about that? One more time, we're going to listen at the father's statement pertaining to this baby Troy, boy, child. Then I will check out of here. Feel free to drop your comments on the community board and or this article, this video, to let me know what you think about what happened to him. If it was foul play or he crawled into that machine, locked himself in, and he died. Note that an autopsy has not been rendered, and it is now November. This took place many months ago, a few months back. Let's hear one more time.
Seven-year-old boy was found dead in a washing machine.
This was after his parents reported him missing yesterday morning. Rochelle Turner live with what the boy's adoptive father told us late last night when he arrived home. Rochelle?
Good morning. Jermaine Thomas spoke briefly with us after he was questioned by authorities and dropped off at this home behind me by a precinct 4 deputy constable. Now, he told us when he got to the home around midnight on Wednesday, the door was already unlocked. This is Troy Khoeler's adoptive dad, Jermaine Thomas. He says he came home after work yesterday around midnight looking for his wife, and the door was already unlocked.
Just like I'm finna walk in the door right now. I don't have my keys, but I put my key in the door and then the door open. But anything else after that, I don't know.
Jermaine says Troy wasn't in the house, and around 5:30 that morning, the 7-year-old was reported missing. Deputies searched the neighborhood before they made the horrific discovery.
At that point, they found a deceased 7-year-old child in the washing machine in the garage.
Troy's mom and dad were questioned by authorities. No charges have been filed, but how did Troy end up in the washing machine? His condition and cause of death remain under investigation.
Just don't know how it happened.
The Department of Family and Protective Services confirmed the couple adopted Troy in 2019. He also attended Jenkins Elementary School, and Spring ISD says his death represents a great loss for our district, and we are providing ongoing counseling and grief services for students and staff members impacted by this tragedy. And so many questions surrounding this investigation. Today, we're hoping to learn a little bit more about what happened to little Troy. As soon as we find out more information, we'll be sure to let you know. Reporting live from Spring this morning, I'm Rochelle Turner, KPRC 2 News.
Rochelle.
All right. KPRC2, click to Houston is the source. Thank you all so much for joining me, listening to the content. You can find this information on my community board pertaining to this death of this child. I'm going to say this, then I'm out of here. Whether he died by the hands of the mother, father, both, stranger, another child, locking him in the machine, he had no business being alone at the age of 7. Because we know that the father wasn't there, if we're to believe his testimony that he got home around 12. But then nothing's been verified because there haven't even been any updates pertaining to their version. And what I've always told you is that when you get a news story, they get the information from the police and or the people involved in the story. And know that it may be the truth, it may not. Partial truth, partial lies. And I myself repeat what the news brings me, but it does not mean that all of the information could be factual, but I go by that instead of he said, she said. Do you understand what I'm saying? But everything's a version in the end. Whether it is put down on a deposition, told to a detective, officer, judge, or 12 members of a jury. So you have to decide if indeed the father did get home. Has he proven he went to work? See, those are things you have to ask. Where was the mother? Was she home all day? Or was she at a job? Did she go into work that night? Left the child unattended? What are we saying? We hear that she was meeting up with the police when they got to the house that morning, so one would assume she was just coming in from a job. Or getting ready to go to work. See, you don't even know. And that's why you know there's something off, because if police are wording it as it looks like she was meeting up with the police, then where the hell was she when the father came home at midnight saying he couldn't find her? He couldn't find her or the child. Something pop off in that house. She got mad at the kid and then poof, voila, disappeared. To make it look like somebody came in the house. She killed the child, put the child in the washing machine, and walked out of the house and left. Then showed back up in her work clothes looking like a deer in headlights. What's going on? I don't know. I've been looking for you all night. Where you been? Oh, I'm just getting home from work. So you don't even know it's the truth because The story hasn't been updated. She refused to talk to reporters, so we don't know who was actually at the house, when they got to the house, left the house, if somebody was there all damn day. Who picked him up from school? Did he walk home, take the bus home? See, you don't know nothing. He attended school. Did he attend all the time? See, that's when you know there's something amiss in the story. When one, the parent doesn't want to talk to the news, one or two or both. They use extra wording to describe what they did. Nothing's been confirmed about where somebody was. So you have a problem with no break-ins, no broken windows, broken panes, no Jimmy doors. You have keys to your house. Why would your doors be unlocked unless the child was going in and out of the house while they were gone? See, you don't even know. Because what did I tell you? Everything's on their version. Oh, I just got here at 12. I was looking for my wife. I don't know where she was. I didn't see the child either. But ask yourself this question here. If you're to believe the father getting in at 12. Sir, why would you be looking for your child and noticing him gone at 4 a.m.? Because that's what I documented. And you didn't put a call in until 5:20. So what made you decide to go look for a baby at 4 a.m. and you got there around 12? Yes, something is wrong with this picture. You got there around 12, but you said you didn't notice the child missing until 4. But yet you said you came in looking for the wife. See, this is why I tell you people don't think when they speak. I came in looking for my wife, but I didn't report the child missing until 4. She don't come in until around 7 something or so, looking like she's been to work. So you didn't think to ask your wife, hey, where the hell have you been all night? Where have you and the child been? And another thing, bring it to him, Queen. You report the child missing. 5 hours later. But yet you didn't report your wife missing. Bingo card. Did you all hear what I said? You came in looking for your wife, didn't notice the child gone till 4 a.m., didn't put in a report to 5:20 of the child. So why didn't you also put in a report that the wife was missing? See, I pay attention. I almost would have missed that. That's why you have to always replay the version. Because he told us, law enforcement, we have not verified that she was here or not. Came home from work or not. She just had on work clothes. So now you got to decide, did she go to work? Any part of that day or into the wee hours up until 7 something in the morning? Did he go to work? Did they use this as a ruse? Leave the door unlocked, pretend somebody came in. Wow. Texas and what's that other state? Oh, Georgia. Sounds awfully similar to 535 Bocopter. Oh, the door was left open. Somebody came in and stole my baby. Interesting. Always listen to the details, because the details tell the story of innocence and guilt. Everything you need to know is at the beginning of the story, not the middle, not the end. Where was everybody? What was everybody doing? Can it be verified that they were where they say they were? Are we talking about a latchkey kid left alone often? Did he get into trouble in school? Get into trouble in the neighborhood? Who last saw him roaming the neighborhood? Was he a good student? Was he a pleasant child or a rambunctious child? Would he be considered what some people would say a bad child? Could it be these people just tired of having him, made a mistake by fostering and adopting him, wanted to send him back but felt shame, so we'll put him in the washing machine and make it look like he crawled in there and had a nasty accident? And I don't think anybody would have came in there and put him in the washing machine. Did the child crawl in the machine on his own? Did he have other children over and they was playing, kitty games, truth or dare, I dare you jump in? What will the autopsy say about this child many months later? Was this child physically abused, verbally abused, mistreated, latchkey kid, left alone? Was he sexually assaulted? Has he been molested while he's been in his household with any of these parents or outsiders? What do we know about these people as parents? Do they have any background, negative, felonies, misdemeanors, assault charges, accusations of child abuse, child molestation? Because I want to know why the hell DHS has been in your pocket. Thank you, dear. Prayers for this child, that if indeed this is foul play, all parties are brought to justice. Troy Khoeler, thank you. Retired FBI agent Jennifer Coffindaffer. You are the reason I'm talking about this 7-year-old African-American boy. If you see something, say something. Be a part of the solution and not the problem. Mind the children. The other story that I may bring tomorrow will be a crime vault as well. We're going to go back in time and recap older crime stories that didn't get a voice. We're going to chop up what happened to a small African-American boy who was put in a duffel bag, thrown in a dumpster by his own mother and her boyfriend. They are now facing the death penalty, possibly where they live. She has other children as well. I'm assuming they're in foster care. Well, no, the father, biological father has them, excuse me. Oh, Lord have mercy. Can't make this stuff up. If you'd like to donate to this channel, $sign Big Angie, 129 Cash App. Thank you for your time. Prayers for Quentin Simon that he's recovered in the landfill. Prayers for this little boy that there is justice if indeed there was foul play in his death. And justice for the story I'm going to bring tomorrow pertaining to a 2-year-old who was killed by his mother, discarded in a dumpster. Luckily, as they said, the trash had not been emptied. Amen. Woo! Have mercy. I will try to find that story on YouTube and post it to the community board. I'm going to go over there now and post some polls pertaining to this story and the other stories. Yes, I am. Overthinker. That's my problem. Thank you all for your time. Once again, please go to my community board because I'm about to post some polls pertaining to all of us as human beings. Are you the type of person that if you went missing, you would make the news? 20 stories, more than 20 stories, or less than 20 stories? Are you newsworthy. Ask yourselves that tonight before you go to sleep. If I was to go missing tonight, harmed tonight, would people be talking about me on the local and national news? Love you too, baby. Thank you all so much. God bless all of you. This is Everyday Shenanigans.